Welcome everyone to another bot spotlight, and this time, oh, look, who put the date at 2000? Yeah, we have the Millennium Dawn Modern Day mod, which is the first of the most likely many modern day sort of scenarios that are gonna come out for Hearts of Iron 4, at least for someone that was released in any kind of way. And as you can see, there's a lot to talk about. Now, every nation has a generic focus tree that was actually just built up, and it's just fairly generic, but also just whatever you'd expect. There's a political branch and a very limited, actually, military branch, and also a fairly substantial, but also generic economic branch. And as I said, every nation has it. I believe there is a sort of a beta of an American focus tree, but I'm not really sure if it's like released to anyone. That's just something that I've read on the mod page, and yeah, every country has the same focus tree, and they're gonna add slowly to the majors, and then to a few of the minors, some other focus trees. And yeah, basically there are two scenarios to start dates. One is at 2000, January the 1st, and one is at 2016, I believe also January the 1st, and it just changes the game into the modern day. And as you can see, most of the changes are in Africa and some in Asia as well, because of course after decolonization there were a lot more countries in the area, and they have focused so far on adding actually countries and ideologies, because as you can see in the game there are, how many is that? 9? No, that's actually 11 ideologies. So 10 normal ideology plus Islamic fundamentalism, and I should have done this before. I'm very sorry. I'm actually gonna go offline. Okay, forgot to turn off my Steam. The ideologies are fascist, nationalist, reactionary, conservative, market liberal, social democrat, progressive, democratic socialist, which is like Venezuela. That's pretty much what I understand. They're just going with democratic socialist because it's a very big definition. Communist, and yeah, Islamist. Islamist is for Iran and a few other countries around here. You can only, I believe there's a flag that, yeah, these are also, of course, placeholders because it's very early alpha, of course. Apparently you can also have Islamism as America or whatever, but yeah, it's very weird. The laws are the same, and the military high command and the likes are also the same. Now, some of the major countries do have a order of battle already set up. For example, as you can see, America has quite a lot of divisions from the get-go. And interestingly enough, of course, this was very well researched, it seems. It reflects a lot of the sort of quirks of modern militaries quite a bit, because with America you don't really see, but if we look at Canada, for example, already, you can see that they have a lot of these really small units, because that's how modern militaries kind of deal with the manpower shortages and just generally the fact that there is a lot of sort of peacetime demobilization in this era, which is of course kind of reversing, but that's a whole different topic. And for example, France has a lot of even just one combat troop in all of their divisions, quote-unquote divisions. And also Germany has pretty small troops. So that's essentially the gist of the mod. So far, the AI doesn't really have a direction in what it does, because of course, again, this is very early on. A lot of countries don't have troops. For example, if you go to Czech Republic, they have nothing. And for example, Austria as well. So there's a lot of countries that of course haven't really been set up yet, because of the fact that of course there needs to be a lot more research done. And I'm not sure what they're going to go with the European Union, but so far there have been two factions, NATO and CSTO, which is, I believe, the Common Security Treaty Organization, which is the Russian, Kazakhstan, and a few of the stans, and also Belarus. China so far doesn't have a faction, but I'm sure that something will be made for that. And a lot of countries also lack leaders. For example, yeah, as you can see, Egypt doesn't have any leaders. Yemen doesn't have any leaders. A lot of the sort of smaller countries that really don't deserve the attention of the modders yet, because still very early on in development. So yeah, the IC system and the economy is fairly similar to the normal game, and as you can see, there's a huge amount of division templates. The IC and just in general economic system is pretty much the same as the normal game, and a lot of countries seem to have sort of placeholder IC numbers. For example, the miners pretty much all have very placeholder IC values, but a lot of the bigger countries, for example Russia, have had, I believe, calculation based on GDP, military expenditure taken into account to actually sort of determine how much IC they should have from the get-go. And yeah, they haven't done China. Yeah, it looks like they've also done China. So for example, there's a lot of countries that are much just weaker than in real life. For example, South Korea is very weak, whereas in real life it's very strong. Or for example, Israel is very weak, Iran is very weak, Turkey is also pretty weak. So there's a lot of ironing out to be done, but of course this is a huge undertaking that you're taking on. Of course, all the credit goes to the modders, as always. The link will be in the description. And that's pretty much it. There's not much else to talk about, so I want to thank you all for watching this mod spotlight. Oh, right, the tech tree. Right, I forgot. The tech tree was actually changed quite a bit in terms of the infantry. As you can see, there's a lot of placeholder icons and likes, but the layout is there. I believe it's a little bit too complicated for my tastes, but of course this has to be sort of spaced out over a bigger over a bigger time period than the regular tech tree of Hearts of Iron 4, so that's why it's a little bit bigger. And as you can see, there are some dates over the text. Some are actually incorrect. For example, this one, the second one for the industry tree, is actually supposed to be 2002 and not 1995, and then the next one is supposed to be 2000 and either 3 or 4 and the likes. But again, and also the industry, engineering, air, naval, land doctrines are all the same. Also the artillery. The armor was changed, but it's still very placeholder, as you can see. For example, some countries do have some named vehicles, but again, it's very placeholdery. And of course, the companies are the same. But again, the infantry and a placeholder for the armor has already been made. That's good enough for a very early build. And so that's pretty much it. I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you'll play the mod, test it out, help out the modders in any way you can, and I'll see you soon.